first, I got to talk about the Lakers and the Nuggets, right? I'll get to the Lakers in just a moment because I kind of went on a little I don't know, diatribe to start the show. Let's start with Denver. Because for the very first time in their history, the Denver Nuggets will play in the NBA Finals. Congratulations to Nikola Jokic, to Jamal Murray, who I personally thought should have been a Western Conference Finals MVP, to Coach Mike Malone, who I've always defended. People talking about, oh, Mike Malone's overrated coach. No, he's not. No, listen, the last time he's had the last two healthy rosters he's had, he got to the Western Conference Finals 3 years ago, and he's in the NBA Finals today trying to win Denver's first championship. Congratulations, guys like Michael Porter Jr., KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Aaron Gordon, bunch of other guys who really stepped up and contributed for this Denver team all season long, and certainly in this series. On Monday's show, I said I thought the Lakers would avoid the sweep in Game 4, and Denver would go ahead and close it out in Game 5, which would have been last night. Instead, the Nuggets get 10 days off before Game 1 of the Finals. They'll wait for Miami or Boston. Hint, hint, it's going to be Miami. And a lot of time to game plan. Let's talk about Denver. So there's a narrative going around the Nuggets that I don't like. And it's coming directly from a source within the Denver Nuggets, which happens to be the head coach, Mike Malone. Michael Malone, as he prefers to go by. And he was talking after the game like, man, we don't get our respect from the national media and Jokic. Nobody respects our best player and all this, all that. Nobody respects the Denver Nuggets. Okay, first of all, two things. For those that didn't quote-unquote respect Denver, which, by the way, people think I dislike the Nuggets. I had the Nuggets as a contender all season long and picked them to win their first two playoff series. Let's not sit up here and act like I just hate the Nuggets, okay? But the first thing is, Denver, whether we respected you or not, you got to earn that. What had Denver done in the Nikola Jokic era up to this point? They'd had some good playoff runs. I'm not going to sit here and act like they were just, playoff chokers or something like the 76ers. They'd had some success, but not as much as Golden State or the Lakers or the Celtics or the Bucks or even the Raptors. Heck, the Cavs. In the Nikola Jokic era. The Suns even. Now they've reached like the Suns' peak, which is make a finals, like the bare minimum. But they finally had an amount of success to where we can say, hey, this Denver's team's for real. You got to earn that. Nobody respected Golden State until they won a championship. People always said, yeah, but with LeBron until he won a championship. Heck, people said, go back and look at the articles. People said, yeah, Michael Jordan, he's a great basketball player, probably the best player on the planet, but it's not a winning player. He had to prove those people wrong. You have to earn that. And the second thing that I hated Mike Malone saying that is nobody respects Nikola Jokic. How do you figure? Okay, because a guy who had never been to an NBA Finals until this year, until literally 3 days ago, a guy who this was his second conference finals of his career, had won back-to-back MVPs. The same NBA media you say disrespects the Nuggets and disrespects your best player, Nikola Jokic, that same NBA media, in my view, wrongly, voted him as the MVP 2 years in a row. The second year, which I thought was far more egregious, with you being the 6th seed and getting gentlemen swept in the first round. So we talk about respect. First of all, you got to earn respect. That respect is earned, not given. Think about any great player, any great team in NBA history. You got to prove doubters wrong, and you got to earn that respect. Why do you think we talk about these teams like for the longest time, the New England Patriots, right? The Patriots never had quite as much talent as the Steelers or the Chiefs or the Falcons that year in the Super Bowl potentially, or the Seahawks that one year in the Super Bowl. The Ravens weren't quite as talented, but when you build equity, when you win championship after championship, when you extend that dynasty as long as they did, for the Warriors, when they extend this dynasty as long as they did, or they have really, because the dynasty's still not over, yeah, you build respect, and people are going to be more apt to cover you more, to pick you more. Denver has a chance to move into that category. They win a championship this year. Certainly, you could argue they very well might be the favorites going into next season, considering they were the 1 seed this year. They've been on a very impressive playoff run to this point. But you got to earn that. That's not just given out, at least by smart members of the media and by fans even. So I don't like this whole, and I love Mike Malone. I've defended him for years on this show. But I don't like this. And look, hey, if it gets his team ready to play, if that's what floats his and the Nuggets boat, obviously it's working. So I'm not going to, if that's his method, if that's his motivational method, cool. Got nothing bad to say about that. But this notion, oh, nobody respects the Nuggets. First of all, you earned that. Second of all, actually, they kind of did more so than they should have, because they voted your best player 2 straight MVPs, which, aside from Steve Nash, is only reserved for the pantheon of great players. Your Russells, your Wilts, your Kareems, your Magics, your Birds, who won 3 in a row, your Michael Jordans of the world, and Tim Duncan, and LeBron, and Steph, and Giannis. I'm talking for the peak champions. Nikola Jokic is going to try to join that club as a champion. We'll see. Denver, to me, is better than Miami and Boston. I think they've proven that over their last 3 playoff series. But you know me, I don't do false narratives very well in this show. About to get to the Lakers in just a moment. Like one of my least favorite false narratives is that Steph Curry isn't clutch, doesn't hit clutch shots in the playoffs, and that LeBron isn't clutch, period. Which both narratives, I could show you the numbers, could not be further from the truth. This is a false narrative that, oh, nobody respects the Nuggets. Baloney, they do. You were the freaking 6th seed. You had no chance to win the championship last year, in large part due to injuries, in fairness to you. And yet they voted your best player the most valuable player. Over Giannis, over Embiid. Come on now. Like, let's not. Congrats to the Nuggets. They deserve all the respect in the world now, but not before. So we got to stop with this whole notion of, oh, nobody respects the Nuggets. It's not true. It's straight up not true. But they will be a hard out in the NBA Finals. Be it Miami, which it is, or be it Boston. That's going to be a good NBA Finals. It may be ratings purgatory. Maybe that's too strong. It might be a ding to the ratings, because obviously people are going to be more apt to watch the Lakers, which sort of kind of goes back to the respect thing. Like, we talk about the Lakers a lot. That's in large part because they're the most iconic NBA brand. That's also because they have, in my view, the greatest basketball player in the history of the world. Like, you earn that. If Denver goes on to win this year's championship and in the future win more championships, we're going to respect them. We're going to give them the props that they deserve, or earn, rather. That's the great thing about sports. Nothing is earned, or nothing is given, everything is earned. And congratulations to Denver Nuggets. And congrats to Denver Nuggets. They did something that it reminds me of a little bit. It reminds me of my Warriors just a bit. Last year's championship. Because they have a generationally talented player. Both teams do. Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry. Jokic is obviously the greatest passing big man we've ever seen, and it's not even a contest. This isn't even a contest either, the greatest second-round pick of all time. And be it that I still don't think he should have won them, a 2-time MVP. And obviously, Steph, his resume speaks for itself. 2 generationally talented players that the organizations looked at and said, we are going to do everything in our power to surround them with the requisite talent to win championships, and we feel like we already have that in the building because we've had success with it before. Obviously, the Warriors with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they've had a ton of success, as in championship success. Denver, not the case, but with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., they've been on some long runs. They had Aaron Gordon a couple of years ago at the deadline. They had KCP and Bruce Brown this past year in free agency. They're able to fill in some of these holes that they needed. By the way, they had young players step up for him. Christian Brown, who came, remember him playing at Kansas last year, winning the national championship. He comes to the Denver Nuggets through the draft. So very, very, very similar in that they had a core nobody really thought could make a whole lot of noise in the postseason long term, but they trusted in it. They stuck with it. There was obviously that really cool story Michael Malone told after, I think it was game 2 or 3. One of the, because Jamal Murray's 2 biggest games were 2 and 3. And remember, Jamal Murray missed the last 2 playoffs with an ACL tear. And he was in the team bus one time. And this is according to Michael Malone, the head coach. And Jamal's saying, man, I'm damaged goods. Y'all going to trade me? And Michael Malone said, no, you're our guy. They stuck with him, and they're in the NBA Finals today. So it's a really cool story. Congrats to the Denver Nuggets. They absolutely earned the right to be here. And listen, it might not be the greatest ratings draw, but this is going to be a good series. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube. Be sure to click that big red subscribe button and go check out the other clips and full shows of Carving It Up Live. Have a blessed day.